The brave man finally returned home, but you would need to be brave in order to rewatch this series again, as the finale was a major letdown. The final half of the season was a major letdown. Beal, major letdown. Rick, major letdown. The Walking Dead, just a major letdown, buddy. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment here for the 6th episode and the finale of The Walking Dead, the ones who live. And who lives? Pretty much everybody lives. Rick and Michonne certainly live. They aren't going to be killed off. They survive. The nice little interracial couple, they certainly are not going anywhere. They're going to return home to their interracial kids, brother, and live a long, happy life, with Rick probably doing the dishes with one hand and Michonne being the masculine one, being the man, going out there being the protector. What happened to Father Gabriel? We don't know. He didn't show up. He got introduced in episode 5. It showed you him on the hunt. He was going from location to location. He was on the move. Is he going to find Rick? Is he going to find Michonne? Did he even find his way fucking back to Alexandria? I don't know. We don't know what happened with Father Gabriel because he wasn't in this episode. Okafor got a couple of mentions, but I mean, who cares? It was a decent character that was killed in episode 1. I've already forgotten about him.
They're milking the Okafor well dry, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, he was in one fucking episode.
It had been milked dry by episode 2.
I've actually never seen a show where a person who appeared in one episode is being made out to be godlike.
I would say Okafor has got more mentions pre-death than any other character in The Walking Dead.
Post-death?
Post-death, sorry. Than any other Walking Dead character. From your Shanes, Laurie's, Herschel's, Glenn's, Governors. You think of all the characters that like meant something to the group or had a important factor, an important impact on the group or whatnot. I can't think of any other character that was brought up more than Okafor.
It feels a bit forced. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Like, why are they pretending Okafor was this great guy? Like, Rick debating back and forth with Beal and Thorne. Okafor's like, Rick, hold on here. You were fucking battering the guy.
Yeah, we put up a poll. Was Pearl going to join Rick or keep on the CRM side? And I mean, I guess she technically stayed on the side of the CRM. Beal, who was brought in as a big actor, Terry O'Quinn, we thought we were going to get a pretty good main antagonist. It turns out that he barely had any lines until the finale.
It's fitting he got lost in this show, because that's what he's most known for.
Yeah, it is fitting. But
he got lost in the pecking order.
But you know what? He featured in a large part of the first half of this episode alive, but he just spewed a load of shit, if we're being completely honest. So we start the episode with Rick and Michonne, their grandpa.
If Rick still had his hand, he would look at it for the fucking watch because he was boring him that much.
So Rick and Michonne go back to the CRM. Rick says he's going to go to the briefing, and Michonne is going to go and find the dossier for Jadis. So Rick goes in at the front gates. Michonne sneaks in through the back gates, and we're led to believe that you cannot escape this place. It's like impenetrable. But Michonne managed to sneak in easily. Yet Rick was captured here for 7 years and couldn't manage to escape.
Yeah.
And this is before Rick even knew Jadis had any dirt on him. So
I think you could just tell at this point of the episode, though, that the pacing's off, right? Episode 4 is like 50 minutes of those two arguing. 5 minutes into this episode, the game plan's been revealed. They've both broke in. Well, Rick's went to the front gate, Michonne's broke in, and he's got a sit down with Beal 10 minutes in.
I think the series pretty much went downhill when Rick and Michonne actually met.
Yep.
Even though I think episode 2 was a decline on episode 1, I just felt it was alright from a different perspective. But since Rick and Michonne have met up, I mean, I don't think it was.
I think if you want to have,
I would say episode 3 was okay. But I think since Rick agreed to escape, and they pretty much did in episode 4, I think since then it's just been flawed. I think the second half has been so fucking shit.
I think the pacing, though, of this show's crucial. I think if you have different seasons which have different pacing, fair enough. But in this one season, we have had episodes that have fucking dragged on, and then there's episodes that are like taking place over like decades. I mean, Rick, the first episode takes place over the course of 8 years. Michonne's one, with Nat, they were getting their lungs fixed for a year. And in this episode, it takes place over like half an hour.
Episode 4 was basically Rick and Michonne having a discussion about her wanting him to come home and him saying he can't do it. That's what episode 4 was. This episode, you had Rick and Michonne return to the CRM, kill everybody in the CRM, and then return home to Alexandria to meet their kids. It's like, what the fuck? Where's the pacing going? Anyway, Michonne sneaks in, and it just shows that how easy it was for her to sneak in. Therefore, it should have been easy enough for Rick to escape. But
they're gonna kill Alexandria. Can't do that. Can't do it.
You didn't know that though at that point.
Yeah.
So you can't even use that logic.
I just don't. Yeah, it's like with Rick, and then that one time he did try to escape. It showed you, I think, what in episode 1, and Thorne caught him, and like the little girl who was following her zombified parents around. And no, that won't be the last problem with walkers we've got in this episode. But we may as well talk about the sit down with Beal.
No, I just find it mad that Rick refused to escape that time, just because he's seen this little girl. I mean, this guy will fucking kill. And are you telling me every CRM soldier is bad and deserves to die?
No.
Was Okafor a bad guy?
Like most times in wars, I mean...
Well, was Thorne even bad, though?
No.
She just seemed to be following... I don't know. She just seemed to be following fucking Beal's...
Make no mistake about it, Michonne and Rick just killed 3,000 people.
Yeah, like, you can't say they were all bad and they all deserved to die, yet they never gave a second thought. But when it comes to Rick escaping peacefully and getting back to his family, he won't do it because there's a potential of a little girl dying that would have fucking died. If he was that bored, he could have took that little girl with him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, her parents had just died or whatever, or were dead anyway. So that made no sense that he just gave up the escape plan just so he could protect her. Just bring her with you. Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, Michonne gets the information from Jadis's room. Rick goes, he gets... He first sees Beal doing some like training with the killing walkers. Then Beal says he wants to meet him. Rick then goes to meet Beal. Beal speaks for about 10-15 minutes here, saying a lot of nothing. Basically, the plan of the CRM is to survive and for them to stay strong, for them to stay safe, and for them to be on top and make sure that like they're not vulnerable or no harm comes to them. They need to essentially take out Portland. That's like the other big city remaining. And then after they take out Portland, they'll blame it on some sort of like random disaster, some bullshit like that. That's heard that before in real life. And then they're going. The CRM are going to march through the entire country of America and North America and the world essentially, and every community that they come across. They're going to kill. Why, I don't know. Now, it's almost like if they come across survivors, they'll take them in. Maybe. But if they come across communities, they're going to kill them all. I don't know why. What sense does that make? Like, let's say a small community. Like, let's say Rick's group in the prison. Apart from the fact that Rick's overpowered and shit, what danger is that group posing to CRM? If they don't even know the fucking location of the CRM and they're just holding up in a prison.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's the way they've portrayed the CRM, like...
Look at Alexandria, right?
No, but...
No, Alexandria, before Rick got there, shitebag community, didn't really go beyond the walls, and they sent out some people just to, like, scavenge and stuff and come back. It's not like they're a threat to the CRM.
No.
So why is the CRM going to go out of their way to fucking sanitize the entire America?
I think they're going to extreme lengths here to show how bad Beal is, but he's just talking a load of shite. Like, he's talking about, I served in Vietnam, Ricky boy. I don't even think he seems like that bad of a person until he discussed the game plan. Yeah, I mean, I think he should probably be talking about Vietnam, I don't know, about 5 episodes ago.
And it's like we never really got anything from Beal. And now they're introducing him. They're trying to give you these large Beal parts so they can try and build up to his death. And it's like, you just don't care. You had 5 episodes and you done nothing with the guy. You gave us Jadis, who nobody gives a fuck about. I don't care if Trev Chan says she's great. She was shite in the original, or the garbage woman. That's what she is, garbage. But anyway, Rick doesn't like what Beal's saying. Beal says, accept that community that you're trying to get back to. We'll bring them in. I don't care if they're your brother or lover or kids or anything, friends.
Your bummer.
They can come in. Then they were sharing stories about the hard things you've had to do. Rick talks about the people he's killed. You know, he talked about Joel and the fact he had to bite him like a walker to save his son.
It was good to see all like the flashbacks, right, of when The Walking Dead was good. Not that season 4 finale was particularly fantastic, but it's just fucking shit. I'm sorry, the show's killed me.
You don't know what to say. Beal, anything to say apart from it's shite? Because I was actually in my rhythm there discussing what happened.
Well, you go ahead then.
Yeah, so Beal's talking about, well, look, you might have saved Carl there, but in the long run, you couldn't do nothing. He's dead. And I think that kind of takes Rick the wrong way. So, yeah, Beal continues to explain this to Rick, and at this point, Rick's got the knife. You can see he's pulled a knife, because Beal told him to have his gun and his, like, prosthetic steel arm on the table. So, the only weapon that Rick's got, essentially, is this gun. No, this is knife, sorry. It's like a throwing knife. Beal then realises that Rick's not buying the story. So Rick gets up, throws the knife at Beal. Beal gets up, pulls the knife out of his... I don't know, pulls the knife out of his...
Torso region?
Torso, I guess. Then Beal gets this sword and he's swinging it at Rick. And Rick's using his arm to shield the sword, even though the arm he took off. I don't know how quickly you can reattach this. But, like, see Meryl's arm, it looks like that's something that you'd have to fidget about with.
Normally I think Rick looks like a click-on job.
Like, yeah, you'd expect these... Is that what it was? A click-on job?
I don't know the actual design.
Anyway, like, 1 minute, Rick's got his arm up on the table, next minute he's got it on him. He blocks a couple of shots with Beal. Beal's trying to, kill Rick, saying, I knew you were the guy, and Okafor this, and Pearl this, and then Rick manages to grab a sword and he pokes him through the knife like it's a wee needle. He pokes him through the hand like it's a wee needle.
Like, would Beal not have security in play here?
You'd think so.
Especially after he hinks Rick's not going to be able to cope with this.
And then Rick tells Beal, we don't die, you do. And he stabs him right through the hand. And
that's Beal done.
That's Beal done. Beal's dead.
Alive Beal at least.
Rick then tells Michonne about some bullshit. Not Michonne, sorry. Rick tells Thorne about some bullshit story. Beal wanting to meet out in the woods or some crap like that. Also, earlier when Rick returned, Rick told Thorne that Michonne saved his life. And up to this point,
she thinks it's Dana.
And she never caught on that it was Dana, or that it wasn't Dana, up until the very end. She didn't even know then, because when Rick and Michonne, spoiler alert, when Rick and Michonne are trying to escape, she calls her Dana. So she's not even caught on to the fact this is fucking Michonne yet. So I don't get that. It was a bit dumb. Michonne kills... I don't know if she kills someone, but there's someone trying to get into Jadis' room, and she either kills her or just, like, chokes her out. I'm not too sure.
So boring, the Michonne part.
It was.
Oh, let me go through a wee PowerPoint presentation.
It's like, as much as you don't really... As much as the Rick stuff isn't great, it's like, you feel when Rick's here, I'm paying attention.
He's fighting against the main guy.
When Rick's on the screen, I'm focused, but when Michonne's there, it's like, who cares? Yeah, she goes to a PowerPoint thing, and the CRM are going to, like, save 10% of the kids, but, wipe out everyone else. And then we see all these kids. And
Hollywood elite.
We see all these like kids pop up on the screen, and it's like I don't know if it was a fair representation of race and stuff, and nationality and ethnics, but it is what it is. And then we see some wee black kid, and Michonne decides to leave because maybe that reminds her of RJ.
RJ.
So that's that really. Rick, when escaping after killing Beal, he gets tackled by some guy who notices the blood, and then Rick just bashes this guy's face in with his like metal hand. And then some weird thing where they're having the briefing. There's like 3,000 soldiers like ready for... I'm assuming they're waiting for Beal to talk. Rick and Michonne grab Beal, who's now zombified, and the other guy that Rick just killed, who's also zombified. And they like tie them up and get them going round in circles. And they tie them to like the gas.
The grenades. Yeah, it was a weird concept. I don't know. It's not very practical, this. I mean, what happens if they walk? What if they walked a direction too quick? Rick and Michonne would have been blown to a million bits.
And did you see how slowly they were walking?
Yeah, and they had to walk slow, because if there was like a knee-jerk reaction, they're blown to shit, right? And let's talk about it. So the grenades are all strapped up to these gas tanks, which I believe are the same ones they used to gas Michonne and Nat about 4 episodes ago. So it's lethal gas. You know, it takes you a month to recover for this if you don't have a gas mask. But
Did it take a year?
Oh, a year. So, but maybe Rick's doesn't have little people lungs. He's got the big lungs, buddy. But what happens next is pretty much a genocide, is what I would call it.
Yeah, so Rick and Michonne, they plan for these to go off. They use, obviously, Beal and the other soldier, the zombified version, to set it off. And it kills like 3,000 of the soldiers. And then after that, we see... So they get up, and then I guess they're going to escape, but they're stopped by... what's her name?
Pearl.
Thorne, yeah. So Thorne stops them. She says, "No, Rick, you're trying to escape." Then this is when she says, "Rick and Dana." So she still's not caught into the fact that this is Michonne. After the explosion, because she caught them before it exploded. After the explosion, and she also noticed the zombified Beal, I guess, but didn't do anything about it. After the explosion, there's 2 masks for some reason. She's got one, and Rick and Michonne have the other one. And I guess Rick says, "You take the mask, and I'll get Pearl," or whatever. So that happens there. Rick and Pearl get in a bit of a fight, and Pearl ends up getting the upper hand. It's like, what the fuck's happening here? Michonne goes and gets the mask, and then, like, literally, this explosion has happened, I want to say, no more than a couple of minutes have passed here, right?
Yep.
And that's a push. We're talking a couple, and all of a sudden, we have, like, hundreds of CRM soldiers zombified. When do people turn after, like, a minute?
Yeah. It just doesn't happen.
Here, and I get it, right? Shane turned pretty quickly. That's like a rarity. What's the chances that all these fucking soldiers turning? And wouldn't they mostly be blown up and not really in a position to be walking about anyway?
Not yeah, because most of their bodies looked intact.
As if there was no explosion or nothing. So Rick and Thorne are battling. Michonne finds the gas mask or whatever. And then Rick gets attacked by walkers, and there's like fucking 7 or 8 walkers like surrounded Rick. I mean, they're surrounding him for a good minute here, but for some reason don't get any bites in. And think how even harder it would be with only one hand trying to hold walkers off. But Rick's somehow doing it.
Rick can do it.
Michonne and Thorne then get into a fight, and Thorne's like, yeah, he can't let you to escape. But then Michonne ends up stabbing Thorne and says, "Love doesn't die. Love doesn't die." And it's very forced.
It's cringe. It's a load of shite, man. They need to stop. Yeah, you can have a love story, but there's need to be forced. Like, you're killing your enemies, and it's like, love doesn't die. No, well, why can't it be something else?
Yeah, Rick then pulls the grenade on one of the zombies. This grenade, like, blows up 3 or 4 of the zombies, but Rick somehow is just intact. Not a fucking head on his hair was harmed. And because he covered himself with one of the walkers. Just absolute garbage here. Then Rick and Michonne reunite. Rick goes over and he takes Jadis' mask. And I don't think not Jadis, sorry. Takes Thorne's mask. And I don't remember if they killed her or not. I think they just left her.
I think they just left her, yeah, so... But she was stabbed. Loads of walkers. I mean, she's going to die.
Why not put her out of her misery?
Yeah, that would have been the right thing to do.
Fucking give Jadis a better death.
No, but...
It's like, but you would be led to believe... Like, I thought Rick and Thorne were close.
Yeah.
Obviously fucking not.
No, but the CRM's bad, right? But, like you said, not all the soldiers are bad, and it's like, they've just killed 3,000 odd people here. And then, like, they return... Oh, it's RJ and Judith, and it's happy families, and it's like, what? That's the ending? That's it? That's your whack? This show came out with a bang, man. The premiere delivered, and it's just been downhill ever since.
I think the finale might be the worst episode yet.
Yeah, it felt rushed, and it's just the way it ends. It's like that's it. Like, there's no Alexandra. There's no, like, where's all the other characters? Like, Rick just reunites. So you're the brave man. No, I'm your fucking dad, alright?
Then we get a story as well, like, being broadcast about how the 3,000 died and that the CRM are going to change their ways and going forward they're going to take people in and stuff. And it's like, what?
So what Beal...
Oh, so Okavar's mission's complete? Why? Because Rick fucking wiped out 3,000 people?
I don't like this. I think the CRM needs to get in the bin after this.
What was Okavar's plan then? Wait till Beal dies and implement new rules? I mean...
What you could... I'll implement a rating, guys, because it's end time. I mean, do we care about Judith and RJ reuniting here? I mean, it's like they run over and hug Michonne, and Rick's just sitting there. Hey, that's my son.
I just don't get it. Like, even, like, Rick killed Beal, yeah. Maybe because he's the leader, but you'd think he'd at least try and reason with other soldiers or something.
Yeah, no, I get it. I could have ended badly,
rather than
but
just kill them all.
Yeah.
Like, massacre them all. Very strange. Then, yeah, they return home. Michonne's hugging them all. No one seems to want to hug Rick. I guess Judith kind of remembers Rick, but RJ doesn't. He's meeting Rick for the first time. It's a weird dynamic for me, I'm not going to lie. And then he's like, oh, you're the brave man. And Rick's like, I'm the brave man, but you can call me Dad. And that is literally it. That is this show finished. No season 2. After this ending, I just don't see how there can be a season 2. There's no CRM to come after Rick. Beal's not coming. Nobody's coming. It's done. It's finished. It's over. They said this was going to be only one season, and I think this pretty much confirms it. And I thought it absolutely sucked.
I think they shouldn't have killed Carl off. I look at this and I'm like, Judith ain't Rick's. She's nowhere near Michonne's. Rick doesn't need... RJ and Rick have, like, no relationship. I get it, because he didn't know him. Right? But it just felt weird. I can't explain it. I just don't buy that Judith and Michonne are, like, this close. I don't know, it just felt fucking off to me.
Happy families.
I think the better ending here would have been if Michonne died getting Rick back to them. It just felt too happy. You've just committed a genocide.
Yeah, but imagine,
and it's happy.
Imagine Rick coming at the helicopter, like, and he's looking at these 2 kids. One he hasn't seen in like 8 years. Another one fucking never seen in his life.
Is that ending not? Holy fuck, that's dark. That's mental.
No, it is. They went for the safe pish. Oh, everything's happy. One big happy family. So yeah, I thought the ending sucked. I thought the episode sucked. I mean, I think it probably started off. I think the first half was the better half. I think as soon as Rick killed Beal, it quickly went downhill. See, just them wiping out all those guys, and then all these walkers just magically turned them within seconds. Rick being surrounded by like 8 or 9 of them, and for a good minute, and they don't get one bite in and kill Rick. And then there's like this scene where Rick and Michonne are trying to escape, and Rick's trying to jump on top of this like cargo container, and like the walkers are all grabbing his feet and at his legs and at his knees, and not once sinks their teeth into him. And it's you just know that, see if this is at the start of The Walking Dead, right? Or even towards the end of any season, and this is like a member of the group, like maybe encountering some random person out in the fields, and they're trying to save them. You tell me the random person's not getting his fucking legs bit off here?
No, they're dead. Absolutely.
But for some reason, when it's Rick, it's like they want you to defy your like imagination here.
Yeah, it just feels like a waste of time, this show. It does, like...
I think...
Like, it got Rick back to the group, right? So it achieved its objective that way, but I think there was such a... Like, see when this show like was announced in the first episode happened, I was like, oh, this could be good.
I think...
but...
it went quickly went downhill.
Yeah, I think it's just a massive disappointment. I mean, this episode got a 9.4 on IMDb.
Don't know how. You know in Metal Gear Solid 2, where they've got that thing, and you shoot the bullets and it doesn't hit them?
Aye.
I think this show would be more believable if they said there was this like weird weaponry mechanic thing that the main characters had, and it meant that zombies wouldn't bite them. It was like this electronic field that stopped teeth from biting them. I think that would be more realistic, because then I would go, well, you know what, that actually makes sense why they don't get bit. But see when they want you to believe that
Rick didn't get bit here.
See when they want you to believe that Rick, Michonne, and all these other main characters are just as vulnerable or just as likely to get bit by walkers as any other jabroni, you're like, no, you are fucking lying to us here right now. And then the whole grenade thing, he's untouched, man. He pulled the fucking grenade. The grenade blew about 4 walkers into smithereens, and Rick's just fucking intact. And again with the gas, I mean, Rick was without a mask for a couple of minutes here.
Fighting? Which means you would be breathing?
Michonne and Nat were without a mask for maybe 10 seconds before they went into a building, and they were like incapacitated for a year. I mean, what? But Rick just breathes it. Breathe it in, man. Rick just breathes it fucking in like he's on. I don't. It's shite. You know what? See, when it showed you the flashbacks for times when The Walking Dead was good, actually annoyed me.
Aye. It was like, how fucking dare you? How dare you show that? No, but they were trying to compare Shane to Beal. They were showing Shane shooting Otis when he was referring to Beal. It's like, what? What the fuck's even the same? Beal's talking about killing millions of people.
No, I don't get. See, at this point in The Walking Dead, how can you argue that Rick's not worse than Shane?
Well, of course he. Yeah, I know.
When did Shane kill 3,000 people?
No.
Look at the shit that the group's done. Like, yeah, see, back in season 2, maybe Shane was a wee bit more ruthless, and he was willing to, sacrifice people if it meant for the greater good. But we're at a stage now where it's like, see the people in The Walking Dead, they will just kill you without a second's thought.
Yep.
And we're still supposed to believe they're like Rick's group and the protagonists of this show are like morally superior to everyone else.
It's like, this is the same guy though that like kept Negan alive, and here he is killing like 3,000 people, despite a couple episodes ago, the CRM's the way to go, buddy. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't get it. I really don't get it. So that's pretty much
I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I thought it was pretty poor. I think, yeah, in terms of like the happy ending, it's the best they could have done, but I think it's a poor ending.
It's not great.
It was just a rushed episode. It was like you had 6 episodes and you somehow managed to mess it up completely.
I'll give it a 4.
3.5 out of 10, and I think this.
And also another thing, like you seen the last episode, it was almost like Rick and Michonne were like upset and sad that Jadis died.
I know, it's cringe. I don't get that.
Yeah, this episode they just wipe out 3,000 like it's fucking nothing.
Yeah, it's just fuck. I don't know, man.
And we see that Jadis is a cunt. These 3,000 people that Rick killed might not be bad people. Thorne didn't seem like a bad person. There was like not even like an ounce of remorse. Do you not think Rick should have felt a bit bad?
Yeah, because if you felt bad for Jadis, why didn't you feel bad for Pearl, who didn't never threaten him really?
I just don't get it.
I don't get it, but I mean this.
But even Okafor, I mean, you can talk about finishing his story. Rick didn't give a fuck.
His story, buddy. No, but this confirms there'll be no season 2. There's no need. What if you do a season 2 of this? It's pretty much The Walking Dead because you're back at Alexandria with Rick, Michonne and co.
I think we're at the point now where I think that the other 2 spin-offs will finish, and I believe we will get some form of reboot for The Walking Dead.
But what's it going to be called? Season 12?
Why not? Can you not do that? I mean, other shows have done that.
Loads of shows have done that. Prison Break did it.
And you know what? I think it's simpler. I think from a promotion standpoint, it just sounds a bit better. Like the Walking Dead. Seeing you have to go The Walking Dead Dead City, or The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, or The Walking Dead The Ones Who Live.
The problem is the timelines. The timelines are upside down.
The Walking Dead version 2.
No, like,
oh yeah.
Rick has returned here to Alexandria with the 2 kids and Michonne, but Dead City's like another 6 years ahead potentially.
And it just means if they want to bring Rick or whatever into one of these spin-offs, it's like the timeline is going to be messed up. Like,
yeah, it needs to be sorted out, and it is a mess because it means like but then if you want Negan to appear, it's like, well, where does this fit in with? It's like then RJ and Judith need to be 6 years older when Negan comes back, and Maggie for when they're with. This is what happens though when you've got a cash cow and they just refuse to end it.
And I know you're going to get people watching this episode saying it was great and it's a 10 out of 10. But honestly, man, if you're being truthful to yourself, if you like compelling television that actually makes sense and you don't have to like hold your disbelief every 5 seconds, then you cannot possibly think this was a good episode because it wasn't.
No,
it just wasn't there. I'm gonna get a 4 out of 10.
3.5 out of 10. We'll be back soon. We're gonna probably rank everything for this seat back in. Like, where is the characters?
I would say episode 1 was good. Episode 1 was good. I think 2 and 3 were okay.
Downhill since then.
4, 5, and 6, I would argue it's just got worse in order.
Yep.
I would say maybe 3 was better than 2. I think right now, from best to worst, my rating would be 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6. But I can see why people would think 2 is better than 3. And I can definitely see why people think 5 is better than 4.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's a lot I didn't like in 5. See the whole dynamic, Jadis chasing them, then them chasing her. Even though they can't kill her, but they say they're going to kill her. Then it's like this back and forward cat and mouse thing, but it's like 1 minute Jadis is the mouse.
And then she gets to 20 minutes.
But then the next minute,
speech.
Jadis is the cat. And then it's like by the end of it, they're like, Rick and Michonne are almost got tears in their fucking eyes.
Jadis.
You know, it's like, I honestly don't get it, guys. In terms of an overall season rating score, I would give it a 5.
I'd give it a 5. I'd agree with that.
I mean, it was... First episode, good.
It served a purpose, but it should have been so much better.
I think once you tally up our ratings as well, I think it might be somewhere above around the 5 anyway. So
yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Between like 5 and 5.5 or something like that. So
we'll do that at the end very soon. But
the end. This is the end.
Well, you know what I mean. Well, it'll be a post up in the channel,
right?
Then.
But you know what? It's not the end of the Walking Dead content, because we have some more season 5 theory fids to come. We'll have to rank all the characters in our season 5 reviews, and then we're back with Fear the Walking Dead season 4. Big casualty. I'll no spoil it, but if you don't know at this stage, then what you done with your life. But yeah, major character dies this season.
Oh yeah.